Hello, this is Mark Powls, host of Verity Seeker, and I want to share an amazing interview with you that I had with 3 young high school seniors in Garnett, Kansas. Recently, about 14 team members, started by Cameron Simpson of Garnett, Kansas, put on a How to Life event right here in the little town of Garnett, Kansas. And I thought it went very, very well. This is a solely youth-generated movement. You know, adults believe oftentimes in our local churches that junior high and high school students are incapable of leading, delegating, taking on a responsibility of expanding the kingdom of God here on earth and saving souls. Well, unfortunately, we are wrong most of the time when it comes to things like that. It is in the youth that we need to build the church and expand Christ followers. It takes everyone. Also, by the way, I want to say that I am supporting The Chosen. That's why I've got a hat, and I want to share The Chosen with the public and express my gratitude towards Dallas Jenkins, who is one of the writers and really the producer of this series, this 7-season series. So I'm going to put in a plug for them as well. But this interview is about those young individuals involved in the How to Life movement event here in Garnett, Kansas. And without further ado, I'm going to start the interview. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Verity Seeker. My name is Mark Powls, and we have some very special guests here today, members of the How to Life team. And why don't we start over here and just introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Bryar Wight, and I was in charge of the worship team at the How to Life event.
Okay.
My name's Cameron, and I'm a senior, and I was the president that kind of got things rolling here in Garnett and just kind of helped in every area and just kind of getting things going.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm April Powls, and I'm a senior, and I helped with the bake sale and with the parts of the worship team.
Okay, good. And of course, they did a lot more than what they just mentioned, but they're keeping it very concise and modest. So, Cameron, you're the one that started this off.
Yeah.
And how long ago did this happen again?
So I first contacted How to Life last April, so in 2020. And then things really started moving in August when I contacted these two, I think. And we started having meetings, and it was pretty slow going at first. And then around January, things started picking up pretty quickly as the event got closer and closer. But yeah, it's been in the works for almost a year probably.
Okay. And what was the date that this first event here in Garnett happened?
April 2nd.
April the 2nd?
Yeah.
Okay. And where was that located?
The First Christian Church.
First Christian Church, and they have a facility there where you had the sound engineer.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
had who did all your lighting and sound for you? Do you remember? Was it Shane?
Shane.
Is it Shane?
Yeah, Shane over at the First Christian Church helped set up all those lights and ran the sound for us, and he's really good at all that stuff, and he's been doing it for years, and he's so good, and he made us look really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he does a really good job, and I'm sure he appreciated doing that.
Yeah.
So, okay, can you just recap what How to Life is all about? And then what I'm going to do is just kind of let you guys hash out what happened there and what you think about it. But first, tell us a little more about the actual event. What was the purpose?
Yeah. So all How to Life events started just with the goal of having students step up and be leaders and influence their friends for Jesus. And so that's kind of the whole reason of it being student-led, is saying, like, we don't need adults to do this. Students can step up and do it and take responsibility for it. And so that's what happened here in Garnett, is we just had students, a lot of seniors and high schoolers that just kind of came together and met together and organized this event. And that was our goal, is just to reach our friends. And I think that it meant a lot more for familiar faces to be up there on stage talking about God and sharing their testimonies and stuff, as opposed to adults that they might not know or don't really have a close relationship with. So,
yeah. I was there as an adult, and I saw other adults there, but they weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
They were like back here going, hey, wow, this is really awesome. And you had, was it 4 testimonies?
Yes.
4 people up there? Okay. And I also noticed, I found this very interesting, that normally the Amish don't go on camera, or they don't actually, expose their feelings this way. Now, did I see this correctly? Was there one Amish there?
Yeah, I was super proud.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so for testimonies, we tried to take volunteers. We didn't want to force anybody to do it. And so I think all of our testimonies were volunteers. So I never asked her to do it. She just kind of reached out first. Yeah. And so that was really cool, and her story was really good, so I was super proud of her.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Karen Yoder. I'm 17. I'm a junior.
Yeah, they all were, but that was the one that really jumped out at me, because we're very familiar with the Amish community, and most people around Garnett, because of the Amish community, are familiar with the fact that they don't expose themselves. They don't get in front of the camera. You don't take pictures. Yet she stepped outside of that.
Yes.
So I thought that was very interesting and amazing to me. So you had a band there as well. Is that right?
Really awesome band.
Which of us here were in that? And you might have to name the other people. Bryar, do you want to?
Yeah, I was in it. I played the guitar and sang and kind of led. April played the bass and sang some. We had Carly Hicks. She came and helped us out, sang with us. Good friend of mine, Garrett Burris, on the lead guitar helping us out, and another good friend of mine, Tyler Seacrest, on the drums, volunteered to come and help us. Try to give us a full band sound to really try to get kids pumped up and feeling it and into it, like in the atmosphere. Because we wanted it to feel like an event you would go to, like some professional event that you would like take your youth group kids and like drive 4 hours to, and spend a weekend or whatever. We wanted it to kind of feel like that. And so we really wanted the lights and the smoke machine and the ambient guitars and, all the crazy stuff that you don't really think about when you think about like a Christian concert or like a worship setting. But we really wanted the kids to be able to kind of get into it a little and enjoy it for more than more than just like a Sunday morning like worship band experience. We really wanted it to try to be full, and so we had live drums and electric guitars, and we just tried to make it entertaining and like make it entertaining so that the kids could get into it, so that they could worship and listen to the words that we were trying to say and the message, to get people prepared for the message. And so I think it went well. I think we did well. I think we put it together well, and it was a fun time. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. April, do you want to add anything to that? You're being awfully quiet over there.
I don't know what to say. I mean, we had a couple rehearsals, and I say a couple. I think we had more than a couple. And the first time Shane came with all of his lights and stuff, we were just playing, and then suddenly, like, the smoke machine turned on, and there was, like, a fog in the room, and we were like, what's happening? And then the lights, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So just the experience from the stage was pretty cool, too, with all the lights. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, just observing, I thought the way you guys planned all this, it was smooth. And like I said, there's no adults dealing with this. It just went like clockwork, and the music and the testimonies and the announcements that you were making and the prepping that Cameron was doing to kind of keep things moving. It was a very productive and complete experience for the area youth. Now, how many many churches in the area do you think were involved in this attending this event?
I'd say about 3 youth groups came.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And then, so I think there's students from about 5 different schools that came, but I'd say in Garnett, about 3 youth groups were pretty involved. And then, I mean, obviously First Christian Church probably was the most involved in everything just because we were using their church, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, Cameron, you mentioned First Christian Church. These two here and myself attend First Christian Church, but which church are you attending right now?
Yeah, I attend New Life Baptist Church in Garnett.
Okay, and that's the one out towards 7th Street.
Yep.
Garnett, you guys added on a building there too. So
yeah, pretty recently.
Yeah, you got a lot of things going on there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, that's great, and it's nice that so many other groups were coming in. Now, I heard through the grapevine that there were people from outside of the Garnett area. Do you know where that location was? What town?
Yeah, I invited friends from Ottawa, Iola. I know Carly's friend from Prairie View was there. And I had a friend from Linden that was there.
She my house right there and asked if I was here, so here I am.
So what's next?
So How to Life Garnett next year, 2022, I guess it would be. It's in the works already. I think the younger kids, we had 2 juniors in our core group. And so I kind of wanted to take them in and give them the experience so they know how to head it up next year and kind of take over the president role. So I think that they already have a few people in mind for their core group and stuff like that. It was funny. She's like, I don't know what to do for worship band. All you guys are seniors. I was like, yeah, you'll figure it out though. It'll come together, but definitely got to pray about it and just trust that God will provide. So
people have a tendency to step up, when the time comes, and we'll see how that goes.
Definitely.
So what I'm getting here is, Bryar's a senior, Cameron's a senior, April's a senior, Carly's a senior, Garrett is a senior. That pretty much, you had 14 people. That wipes out a whole crew of people.
Right.
In that group of 14 that you had planning this whole thing, were there any left? Was that the juniors you were speaking of?
I think juniors, and then if we're including testimonies, 2 of the testimonies were from juniors.
Junior, okay.
So there's a few, definitely not that many that were like younger, but it's okay. I think they can take it over, and so.
Yeah, no, that would be great. And so in 2021 or 22 is when the next one happens.
Yeah, I mean, they could work and plan one for this fall if they wanted to, but I think she liked the springtime and like maybe even Good Friday again, so it'll probably be about a year from now when they'll do the next one.
Well, that's about how long it takes to grow new musicians.
Right.
I know that for a fact.
Yes.
Maybe even longer, because this is quite the group of musicians there, and working with you guys, and it worked out really well. So your shirts, what's the shirt all about? What does that say? Bryar, do you have a good image of your
Yeah.
Can we get that on camera? There we go.
Pretty good.
It says How to Life movement on it, and it's like How to Life is a whole movement across the country. We were just like one group of kids that did it in our town. Cameron can talk more about that in a second. And so we just wanted to get shirts to kind of rep it and get some kids interested and involved, and if they wanted shirts they could buy them and that kind of stuff. And we wanted to make sure that kids knew what we were doing and what it was called, and so that they could follow stuff on Instagram and follow people online and that kind of stuff. Look stuff up if they needed to. Yeah. So
open up your shirt there a little bit. Can we get through
mine's different.
You're on black and it shows up a little better.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to expand on that? Or?
Sure, yeah. Kind of like what he was saying, I think the shirts make it a little more professional, and also for advertising, we wore our shirts on Thursday at school. So there was about 30 kids that ordered shirts, so it really helped advertise when we're all wearing it, and it started conversations and stuff like that.
Right.
So, and it was nice for pictures, of course, to have them and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Good job. I think the shirts do. Whenever you've got something written on the shirts, something like "How to Life Movement," they're going, "What the heck is this all about?"
Especially when you get like 30 students, you're like all wearing the same shirt on the same day,
in a small
kids
school,
kids know something's going on because we have a small school, and you go and sit down in your class, and half the kids in class are wearing the same shirt, and you're like, I don't know what that's about.
Right. Yes.
Peer pressure.
Exactly. Yep.
So, April, let's hear about the process in raising funds for this. I mean, you were kind of in charge of the bake sale, although, I mean, there were still, your friends were involved to kind of help out. But can you talk about that a little bit? Because the next group of, the team is going to have to know something about this. Are there things you can teach them, to kind of give them an idea what they need to do?
Well, at the time, we were already taking some free will donations, but we were like, we need something more. And so I knew that our church normally does a bake sale to fundraise for stuff. And so actually it was a week. It was spring break. Mm-hmm. Wow. I chose a day on Friday, and I had to call the owner of the sale barn. The owner of the sale barn, and he was so nice. He said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead."
That's Ronnie Ratliff.
Yeah, so nice. And before I had gotten a bunch of people who were like, "I'm sorry, I don't think you can do it here." And but he was so nice, and we did it on Friday. And I just sent out a list to our How to Life group chat of all the food that we needed, and was like, can anyone volunteer for this? And I really owe it to the volunteers who made food, because there are a lot of people who couldn't make food themselves, but ask their grandparents and their moms, and their moms and grandmas came in clutch, and like the entire day on Thursday, I had like grandmas coming up to my door with food, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And I made food myself, made some muffins, and then on Friday we got all of this food together, a wide variety of like cookies, and we had a couple pies, and Mom made a loaf of bread, just random stuff that people might be interested in. And
yeah, I mean, this is youth driven, and
right.
It's youth organized, it's youth, but knowing how to delegate, responsibilities to get help, to seek help. I mean, a Christian has to understand that. I mean, Christ, what did he do? He went out and found 12 entirely different and unique, ordinary people to help, continue this on. So, knowing how to do that makes a difference, and all of you have accomplished that. I mean, you could tell by the event that, it all works so well, and everybody working together in concert, it was perfect. Yes. From my point of view, and I was just hanging out in the back. So, good job. Now, is there a point in this project, in this movement, where you have to raise funds to pay for things? I mean, how much do you want to announce how much money you pulled in over the whole course of this project? Yeah. You have any idea what that was? Or?
Around, from the bake sale alone, we pulled in around $635.
It was crazy.
It was a crazy amount, and we did a free will donation, so people could like pick up food and be like, I think this is worth this much.
Yes. We had a goal, like we had like expenses that we had to pay, and we had a goal just to meet the expenses,
right.
And we had extra money left over.
Yeah. Yeah. So thankful.
Yeah, and that was a time span of what that day? Do you remember how long you were there?
Oh, for the bake sale?
For the bake sale.
10 to 2.
Yeah, about 4 hours.
10 to 2 o'clock, $600. I wish I could make that much money
right?
that fast.
Right? Yes.
But yeah, this is for a really good cause, and that's amazing. And I was there, and I purchased some things. I don't even remember what it was because I ate it so. Cinnamon rolls. Yeah, we make good cinnamon rolls around Garnett, Kansas. I guarantee it.
Yes.
And everything there looked very professionally done, and it was very, very nicely done. So and all the food, or most of the food, went, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People came through and wiped it out. You had like 3 8-foot tables filled full of
Yeah.
stuff, food.
Yes.
And it went. So, yeah, it's very good. And so is there like a treasury for the next group? Is that what or did it cost the whole amount, or?
Yeah, I think we used everything. Yeah. Because we didn't know when the next event would be and like who exactly was heading it up. So we didn't want to have all this money just hanging around.
So Christians do not and are not supposed to hoard money. Very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, and you get it, and you use it for God's work, and then the next group does the same thing. And I agree with that process. Very good. Now, are there any other things you guys want to hash out, and some things that you noticed about the event that you want to bring up?
I would like to talk about kids that volunteer for a second, because I think an issue that a lot of people have is they want to be involved and they want to help and they want to volunteer, but they don't know how to ask and they don't know what to do. And so something that we learned, and that hopefully other people who will do this in years next will hopefully learn from us, is that people want to help, but they don't want to ask to do it. And so if you ask people just to help, if, like April said, if you text somebody and are like, hey, I need help with a bake sale, can you have your mom or yourself like bake some cookies and bring them by? A lot of people are willing to do that and want to help and want to contribute. They just don't know where to start, and they don't know how to ask what to do. And so it was really cool of Cameron, because she's super outgoing, and
she is.
Yeah, just to go up and tell people, hey, I need help doing this, and if you guys want to help me, I have stuff that you can do. And that's really cool, so that people don't feel pressure, because they don't have to decide what they need to do. She just, has stuff for them. And Cameron's really good at playing off of people's strengths and coming up with what people would be good at. I remember when she asked us, we had our first core group meeting, and she was going around the group and she was like, Bryar, I know you're really good with music and you've been leading worship for a long time. I was wondering if you could help lead the worship team. And I was like, yeah, of course. And, she looked at the other members and we're like, well, you're really good at finding people and doing this and doing that. And she delegated really well, and the kids stepped up and they did their jobs really well. And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So that's a gift in itself. Is everyone has a gift of some sort, and the gift of observing people and understanding what their true strengths are and pulling that out of them. Sometimes it's getting people to come out of their comfort zone.
For sure.
And use that gift. And sometimes people don't even know what their own gifts are.
Right.
And you're on the outside and you have the gift of observance and finding the gift in people. So people need that. You have to look for that and bring that out of them. Yes. Some people try that and they get it wrong, and that may not be a gift of theirs. But everyone has something that they can offer, and observing each other and trying to bring the best out of each other is the way it's done. So very good. Anything else, April? You're getting too quiet. Come on. Come on. Well, you play bass, and you don't play bass all that much, and yet you took a lot of time and you worked up your bass parts and played them very well. I was very impressed. And she was doing all this in secret. I didn't hear any of it.
I couldn't tell him. It had to be a surprise.
And what kind of bass do you play? Is it a 4, 5, or 6-string bass?
It's a 6-string.
6-string Ibanez?
Not traditional bass playing.
My philosophy is, if you're going to learn to play bass, put as many strings on it as possible, and that way you're done, right?
In other words, go big or go home.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anything you want to add?
I just really appreciated how everyone on the night of was looking for things to do. All of the volunteers and stuff were like, can I help? What am I supposed to be doing? And like, I know when we had the bake sale, it was you, me, and Carly Hicks were manning the table all day. But as soon as other people were available, they were there. They were ready. And I know at the time, at the actual event, like in the kitchen, we were like scrambling, trying to put everything together. Not like scrambling, but we had these massive sandwiches, so we had to get them laid out. And there were people like coming up, and people who weren't necessarily volunteers, but had like come early, and they were like, can I help? Right. And I just really appreciated that, and just like the atmosphere that was created. And yeah, it was very helpful.
Okay. All right. Now Cameron, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, a couple of things. So when Bryar was talking about volunteers, we definitely wanted to push people, a little bit outside their comfort zone throughout this event, especially the volunteers. I know that this was something new for everybody, so it was a little scary, like planning everything and just preparing. But the week of the event, on one of the weeknights, actually the night that we had a meeting, I had one of the girls that was going to share a testimony. She's like, hey, I forgot that I can't come to the event. Can I like pre-record my testimony? And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, it's too late for that. And so I sent her this long paragraph, and I was like, I really think that you would be sad that you missed out and stuff like that, and just encouraged her to, whatever plans she had, I'm like, you can have them another day or, like, reschedule them or whatever. And I really wanted her to be there. And, of course, it wasn't the same if you record it. And, like, live testimonies are really the most powerful. And so she ended up coming and speaking and stuff, and that next day, I think she was just reaching out to me, and she was like, thank you for pushing me. And, I had a little hesitation doing that, but I was really thankful I did it. And so I think just letting students have the opportunity to know that they can do things and they can rely on God to step outside their comfort zone and do things they've never done before. I think that is really encouraging to students, that we can do things. We don't have to rely on adults to do it first or to tell us what to do, but just having faith that God will show up and have our back when we do these things. It's really encouraging. So, yeah.
Right. And can we, since there were these brave people that went up there and shared their testimonies, their stories, between the three of you, can we remember the names of each of these people?
Yeah.
Maybe in sequence. I don't know. Not necessarily. Who wants to start that? Naming these people.
Did Karen Yoder? Karen Yoder went first,
Yep.
and then Hallie Fritz.
Hi, my name is Hallie Fritz, and I'm a junior at Anderson County High School. I'm 17. And to start this testimony off, I wanted to tell you guys about my
And then the second round was me and then my friend Abby Creaky from Linden.
Okay.
So when I was about 10, that's when my family started going to United Baptist. That's where we are right now. And it's a great church. It's where I really started to grow and think seriously about my faith.
Just get excited for next year.
Yeah.
The night of the event, I had so many texts from people that had come, and they're like, when's the next event? Where's it going to be at? Yeah, and so people definitely are interested. So don't underestimate that.
Yeah, good. And now, how long do you have before you guys retire from helping the next group?
Karen's probably going to be getting texts up until the night of the next event.
Right.
So, asking how to do things.
Right.
Are you going to change your email or your Instagram?
I love to help. I mean, I guess when we're not considered students anymore, but obviously we can always like help people, especially in Garnett, since we were the first and we experienced this. But since it's a student-led thing, I think once we get older and we can leave it to the younger kids.
So what is that age limit? At what point do you become outside of this? Is there...
I mean, I don't know. I would say... I don't know.
Probably when you
20,
graduate.
Yeah, just whenever.
Like
so it's really
after
junior...
the next event or something.
Right.
Okay.
After we've, completely aged out.
Right.
But it's primarily junior high and high school.
Right.
Yes.
We're not getting into the college age.
Not really.
Not as
Okay.
much.
Right. I mean, anybody can come to the event, but as far as like putting it on, it defeats the purpose if there's adults doing it.
Right.
So.
No,
Yeah.
that's wonderful, because usually it's junior high and high school that gets left out of that responsibility. Everybody thinks that they have to take care of junior high and high school in order to put
sure.
any event on that's going to be meaningful, and
Yes.
that's just simply not true.
It was funny. My parents were a big support and help, but all the time they're like, "Can I do anything? Can I help you?" I'm like, "I think I'm okay. I think so." Like, they're just, it was funny.
Yeah, they want to help. We're all drinking espresso here
Yes,
because we started at 8:30 a.m. and most of the high school students here, the seniors, have been doing late nights quite frequently.
And it's a Saturday, so.
And it's Saturday, yeah. Well, I'm advertising for the Chosen, so I'm wearing my hat, and so we've got How to Life, and I'm doing the Chosen. So we're all working for Jesus, right?
Oh,
Promoting that plan. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Verity Seeker, and thank you very much, Bryar, Cameron, and April. Appreciate it very much, and we thank the team for putting this on in Garnett, Kansas, to get junior high and high school students more involved in this movement.